Cranberries are finally in season and I stocked up at one of my favorite local stores. And as usual, I'm going to make something for the very first time. Hey friends, it's Barbara Sue at Kowalski Mountain and welcome back to the homestead. Now I have to tell you, I am super excited and I should have worn a different shirt. You can't see my cranberries, but cranberries are finally in season. Now, here in Kentucky, we kind of live in the middle of nowhere and we do have a couple local stores, but we don't have stores like Aldi, which is one of my favorite places to shop. So on a recent trip to the big city, I was thrilled that cranberries were still on sale. Now at the time that I purchased them, they were just 99 cents a package, and this is a 12-ounce package, not a pound. So I did price compare and make sure that my local box store was not a better price, and it wasn't. Aldi was still the better price. So I stocked up so I could make some juice. Now this summer at the Kentucky Sustainable Living Festival, one of the classes I taught was about making things that you'd normally buy and making them at scratch at home. And I co-taught this class with my friend Mary Beth Skeens. Now one of the recipes that Mary Beth contributed was to make juice using fresh cranberries. And she demonstrated it. Now this method, you might have seen it around. I've seen it before. You put some fruit in a jar with some boiling water and you can it and then you let it set, and in a few months you have juice. Now I'm going to be honest, I was a bit skeptical that it worked. But that's the beauty of community and the beauty of sharing the things that we enjoy through YouTube or festivals like the Kentucky Sustainable Living Festival, is that we can learn from each other. Now Mary Beth taught us how to make the juice using the fruit in the jars, but she also let us taste it. And that's what sold me. I was so impressed at how flavorful the juice was. I was afraid it would kind of be a watered down version of cranberry juice, or in the case of what I'm making, cran grape. But it wasn't. It was rich flavor and not too tangy. And so today, after Mary Beth has sold me on this method, I am going to be making some cran grape juice. Now I've already prepared my grapes. I picked them off the stems and they are washed and ready to go. And now I need to get my cranberries ready. Now here on the stove, I have my water bath canner going, and I have 7 quart jars in here. And right now I'm just bringing this to a boil so that these can sterilize. Now the USDA has determined if your processing is longer than 10 minutes, you don't need to sterilize your jars in advance. Well, you do you. I'm gonna do me, and I like to sterilize my jars first. Now also here in the back, I have another pot going of hot water, which that has come to a boil, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. That may not be enough, but I only got so much space here on my stove, so I couldn't use my big pot. Now once those are ready, we're going to get started. My jars are ready, so now it's time to make our juice. Now you'll find Mary Beth's recipe down in the description box below, along with all the recipes that we taught in that class. Now, I have added that recipe to my Recipe Keeper app. If you follow me at all, you know I love my Recipe Keeper app, so I have it right here at my fingertips. Now, all we need is a half a cup of sugar per jar, 1 3/4 cup of fruit per jar, and water. That is it. This is super simple. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, as always, you always use hot jars with hot liquids. Now, I'm going to add a half a cup per jar of sugar. And I'm using raw sugar, and we actually bought this at one of the local Amish food stores. And then because Philip likes cran grape, I'm going to do 3/4 cups of grapes. And 1 cup of cranberries. Now I've seen some other tutorials where they like crush up the fruit. Mary Beth did not teach it that way, so I'm not going to do it that way. Now I love this stainless steel container. Now I bought this for milking cows, which I use it for that. It's very nice for new cows who might have very tender udders, because I can move quickly and I have a hold of it so it doesn't get kicked over. But I use this for all kinds of things. Now we're going to fill this up to within a 1/2 inch headspace. Now I can feel that heating up, so you don't want to throw it back in the pot. Oops. Now we put those on finger tight, and they're going to go back into the water bath canner. Now I'm really struggling with that stove, and I don't know why, because I have this. This is a plant stand, but it's all metal, and I can put hot things on it. So that's what I usually do, and I don't know why I didn't. Here we go. Now I'm in business. Now here on our homestead, we are off-grid. And we actually haul in all of our water here at the farm. So I am pretty frugal with my water. Now when I put those jars back into the water bath canner, they will be full of juice, so that will overflow. So I put the extra water aside, and I can add it back, or later I can water the dog with it, I can wash dishes with it. You know, I can use it for other things and not waste water here on our homestead. Now I am kind of picking up the grapes rather than scooping into the colander, and that's because when I scooped, I actually got fruit all over the place. So this is working a little bit better. Now you need 1.5 to 1 3/4 cups of fruit, and you can mix and match it however you want. You can do all of it cranberry. I'm doing half grape, half cranberry. You can add blueberries instead. You can make it however you want. Now this bowl back here, I still have water in it from when I cleaned the cranberries, so I am scooping to not get all the water and to actually get the cranberries. Now you do want to debubble your fruit. And we're going to clean the rims. Now these are going to go in the water bath canner. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop this down into my water bath canner. And you want to make sure that there's at least 1 to 2 inches of water above your jars, which mine is good. Now you are going to see some bubbles when you first drop those jars down into the water. Now those are just air bubbles, and the way those lids are designed with the 2-piece design is that and you remember you only do finger tight, that allows any air that's in the jars to come out. And that's what we're seeing is the bubbles. So any air in there is bubbling out. Now once this water comes to a boil, these are going to be processed in this water bath canner for just 25 minutes. It looks like I have plenty of fruit to do another batch, but my sugar bowl is empty. So I'm going to go on outside and refill my sugar bowl. Now I buy my sugar from the Amish, and I buy it 50 pounds at a time. So I keep that in a bucket. I say downstairs. It's down in the compartment. Let's go get some. You know what? It's not in here. It's in the other trailer. Now I filled my sugar, and that other trailer is just it's not possible to film in there. It's too tight of quarters, much too difficult. But that's where my sugar bucket is. Now I went ahead and got some extra because I'm going to make more, and that way I won't deplete my canister that's here in the house while I'm out there. I'll just get a little extra, we'll use it up, and then it'll save me from going out there another day. And hopefully next time I'll pick the right compartment. Now I must admit, I'm usually very meticulous about labeling all of my buckets, but lately I've gotten a little bit lazy about that. And so sometimes they say one thing on them, but there's actually something different in them, and I really need to take time to fix that because it's very frustrating. Now I'm going to let this set for about 5 minutes just so they can get used to the cooler temperature in this room, and then those are going to be pulled out and we're going to get started with the next batch. Now here in the RV I use a lot of trays. This is a tray like you might use in a restaurant. And the trays, oh, did you hear that ping? The trays help me maximize my counter space, so I can put all my jars here and then I can move them someplace that's a little bit more conducive because I don't got much space here. Now when my jars are really hot, I go ahead and cover them with a towel so that they cool slowly. And not too quickly. Now right now, this juice is not ready. Now you can see that some of the berries have burst from the cooking process. That's exactly what they want them to do. And right now it just looks like colored water. It's not really much to it quite yet. This needs a little bit of time for the juices to be extracted from the berries. Now we're going to set this aside in a cool, dark place and we're going to let it set 4 to 6 weeks. And if we think about it, we're going to shake it on occasion. If we think about it. Now in 4 to 6 weeks, I can open up this jar and we can strain out the fruit and we can enjoy the juice. Now, the best part is the fruit does not go to waste. When you strain out those berries, you can use it in things like muffins or quick breads. Now at the Kentucky Sustainable Living Festival this summer, Mary Beth gave me a jar and I did that. We drank the juice and then I made some cranberry muffins with the leftover fruit and they were delicious. On to the next batch. Now to make this process go a little bit faster, I warm up my jars in the oven. So that I can go ahead and add the next set of jars directly into the hot water bath canner and I don't have to have a long delay. Now I am wearing heat safe gloves. This is making this so much easier than how I normally do it. I actually only did it because I had used the heat safe gloves to pull the rack up. And since they were still sitting here, I just went ahead and put them on. It is working so much easier. Now my water that I reserved earlier, this is where this comes in. I just put it right back into the hot water bath canner. Don't waste it. you guys know I'm a bit of a science nerd. So before cooking, the grapes are at the bottom and the cranberries are at the top. After cooking, the grapes are at the top with the cranberries. Why'd they do that? Why did it do that? I do not know. Definitely is something to make you go, Well, friends, I did 7 more quarts. I do have a little bit more fruit, but I'm out of time today. I have someplace to be this afternoon, and I need to get this finished. Now, in 4 to 6 weeks, we're going to give this a try, and I'll try to remember to share on my socials how good it is, because I know it's going to be good. So be sure to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, because that's where I share updates like this. Now, as always, friends, I really appreciate you watching, especially to the very end. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that button. I'd love you to be a part of the Kowalski Mountain family. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.